Great. What's going on, beautiful people? It is Linda S. Husser, the Bodacious Lifestyle Coach for Black women over 50, and you are tuning in to the Boldly Beyond 50, a Black woman's guide to aging with excellence virtual book summit and author interview series. I am here with the one, with the only, Laverne Santangelo. She is a licensed professional counselor and one of the phenomenal co-authors in this anthology. And boy, I tell you, I am so excited to be having this interview with you because I remember talking to you initially because I have to make sure that whoever has a chapter that they want to include, that it is in alignment with the theme, with the spirit of the anthology. And the spirit of Boldly Beyond 50, a Black woman's guide to aging with excellence, is all about flipping the script, pivoting, making a shift later in life, because I'm pushing back against the notion that over 50 means life is over. So with that in mind, Laverne, tell me, when you think back to that initial conversation we had, what was it about this project that made you say, okay, I want to be a part of this?
Whew, wow. Oh my goodness. Just because you were not counting us out.
Whoa.
I think that was it. Seriously. I know so many people, and there's also so much, I don't know, ageism.
Yes.
Thinking that some of us think it's over, and it's not. And
Right.
maybe it's not. And and I could be wrong. But 50, over 50, okay, come on. Is that maybe the new 30? I don't know, 20. I don't know. But we are doing things that our mothers, our grandmothers, our great-great-grandmothers, they had dreams and they prayed for us, but we're probably doing some things that they never even thought we would do over 50.
Yes.
And I was like, we need to be seen, we need to be heard, and we need to affirm each other.
Yes, we do. We actually do. We actually do. And I just really think too, I apologize. Just let me do this really quick.
Yeah, sure.
I really also believe that the idea behind Boldly Beyond 50, Black Women's Guide to Aging with Excellence, was this notion. As a life coach, I would talk to different women, and I could still feel, even though some of them were saying yes, and it's all good and blah, 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 there sometimes would be this sense of longing that I could pick up on. And I would make sure that I let them know that, look, over 50 does not mean that life is over. You can be bold beyond 50.
Absolutely.
Life doesn't stop. That line that we cross, once we cross over 50, is we still got it going on line, not the
we just get started. Mm-hmm.
Right. And so with that in mind, knowing that the theme of the anthology is to be bold beyond 50, and to also not allow age to rob us of our dreams, desires, or our destiny. With that in mind, what part of your life, or the shift in your life, what would you say that shift was in your life without actually telling us the story?
Whew. I was burnt out and kind of tired of my job and always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And so I did something. I did something that I was encouraged by another over 50, actually over 60 Black woman that I worked with in my office, a dear friend, colleague. And I was like, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
like you said, I was like, and what I did built my confidence. So without, like you said, without telling, I stepped on the mat. I stepped on the yoga mat.
Okay.
And it was a challenge. And that just sent it all, just pivoted everything for me.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? And you can share what it is that you do. Because I think it's amazing.
So I'll just tell you, I started off, as I'm a licensed professional counselor here in the state of Michigan. And I started, wanting to become an entrepreneur, but I always wanted entrepreneurship, but I was just, I don't know, I had a lot of uncertainty and, anxious and just kind of feeling, wow, is it too late for me? To maybe start some at that point, right?
Right.
But my friend was like, let's go to a hot yoga class. And I'm like, 90 minutes, 26 postures, 105-degree heat.
Yeah.
40% humidity. It challenged me in every single area of my life. And then that was just it from there. Who decides they're going to practice yoga and they pick the most challenging?
Yeah, when we're hot, when we're already menopausal, or
right, and that's what I chose. Yeah, but it challenged me in every area of my life.
Yes,
outside of the yoga room and on the mat.
Okay,
and that was kind of like, that was life changing for me. It really was.
Oh wow! So you did a new thing after 50. You got into yoga after 50.
After 50, yeah.
Wow.
Really, only in the last, I think I've been practicing 6 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have a specialty. What is your specialty that you do with yoga?
So from what grew from that was, because I was having, I came into private practice during the pandemic.
Okay.
A lot of clients were going through grief, and I was like, knowing how helpful moving your body is for you, what postures are out there that can help people process grief? Because what people don't realize is how much we carry it in our bodies, all through our body. And I just fell down the rabbit hole, as they said, and there I was getting certified. So it's grief yoga.
Grief yoga.
Yes. And it is about processing the grief that we carry in our body, because what can come from grief? Depression, anxiety. Sometimes there's trauma. Not all trauma has grief. Okay. But I'm sorry, not all grief has trauma. But all trauma has grief. Okay? And so when you come to the mat, you are going to experience something very powerful, hopefully, to help you just find a little peace from that grief. And it's a combination of breath, movement, yoga, and sound.
Oh, wow. That just sounds so juicy and delicious.
Yeah.
And so grief yoga, I have to say that as I've gotten older, I feel like I need to stretch more. And I don't go to a traditional practice, but there's people, like on YouTube that can show you different stretches. So I have found myself doing a lot of these different stretches now, and it really has made a significant difference in my life. So with that in mind, so you saw me. Where did you get wind of the fact that I was seeking authors for this anthology? This is volume 1. So this was so successful that I'm actually doing volume 2, and still, we get the right stories, though. It has to be the right story.
The right story. Yeah.
Yes. So where did you hear about this initially?
TikTok. I was following you on TikTok. And, as an aspiring, as a counselor and aspiring, a life coach and everything, some of the things they talk about is, building your brand, and one of the things was, write a book. And I was not think I was completely ready to write like a full book.
Yeah.
That you were, and I was like, you dip your toe.
Yeah.
And here I am. And, you and I talked, I sent you an email like right away. I was like, this is for me, no doubt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like, let me send her an email. And then you and I met and talked, and I just knew I was in the right space. You were very encouraging, as a coach, and we talked about what I was doing.
Yeah.
And from
Awesome.
there, and that just a lot happened after that
Yes.
initial conversation and interview, because you were interviewing for the book, right? You were
Absolutely.
interviewing people for the
Yes,
book.
indeed. Yes.
So yeah. And so it was a lot that just came from that.
Yeah.
So, definitely yes, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
you're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank
So
you for sharing your story with me. And so what would you say to what do you think has been the biggest, for lack of a better word, result or the biggest takeaway from being in this anthology? Has it really improved your life in any area? What do you think, telling this story that you shared, how has that resonated in your life? Just the whole writing process. Like,
just the writing process.
yes.
I had a lot to say. I was
Mm-hmm.
confident. I had more to say than I thought I did.
Okay.
Really, there
Yeah.
was stuff, and there were things that came up as I was writing this. Oh, I need to include this. Oh my gosh, wow, I need a little bit more. Nope, I got to leave this out. No, I mean, there was memories and things like that, because it really took me back to the very beginning of me becoming a mom, a working woman, in my time in the service, who I was raised by, what I came from.
Yeah.
All of that showed up while I was writing that chapter,
Mm.
writing that story. And I discovered I have a lot more to share, and learning that I probably might even have a full book in me somehow,
No,
So,
absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah,
You do.
tell, yeah.
And I tell people, if you can write a chapter, you can write a book.
So yeah, confidence. So I guess
Absolutely.
confidence is what came from it. Yeah.
Wow. So would you say that the writing process was easier because you did the anthology and there were other like-minded women, and we, with the meetings and the different support of that nature, made it easier for you?
Absolutely. Yeah. It really did. Absolutely it did. The meetings were great. The guidance, the encouragement, it was all good. I mean, step by step. I mean, like, we would basically step by step through the process.
Yeah, we
And
did.
that really, it was pretty seamless. I
Yeah.
mean, I was like, it was good. Yeah,
Okay.
that made it easier. And like I said, it made me like, okay, I could do this.
Awesome. I
Yeah.
really, really,
And I
really
would
am
like to
excited.
do it. Yeah.
Okay. So when you get your books, right? Because you also get books, and then you were able to order additional books. What are you going to do with them? What is it going to feel like to see that book and hold it in your hands and see your name on the cover and your picture on the back and your chapter inside? What is that going to feel like, especially being a first-time co-author?
Honestly, I feel like I made it. Like, I did,
Ooh.
really. I mean, like, someone, the one of, I guess they say, one of the top most respected professions in the world, they talk about, is doctor, like medical.
Yeah.
But what's behind that is author.
Hey.
I learned the author is that's the next most respected profession.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, I've heard that. Yep. That's the second most respected profession, is writing a book. And
Wow.
so I feel like, wow, I made it. I did something, it was challenging, and I did it.
Yeah.
Uh,
And also, oh, I'm so sorry. I feel
no,
like
go
I
ahead.
cut you off.
No, go ahead. No.
And then with your business, with the grief yoga business, now being a published author, that can really help accelerate your business, because you can
Right.
also use an excerpt, like when you do your blurb about who you are, you can also put in there Amazon best-selling author because we did become Amazon
We
best-selling
did.
author.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Wow.
You can put that on there.
So, as you were saying that, and you were talking about the grief yoga with this, one of the things, because like what you said at the very beginning, you talked about it being a pivot.
Yeah.
Starting over. A lot of times with grief, people tend to really associate grief mainly with the loss of a physical person. But there is grief in divorce. There's grief in loss from a job.
Yeah.
There is grief in emptiness.
Yes.
Retirement.
Yes.
To another city. This, for me, with this chapter, because I have experienced my husband losing jobs, loss of a parent, loss of, financial, I've experienced financial loss, I've experienced emptiness, retirement from the military and all that. This chapter, this book speaks to like maybe what's next.
Yes. That was so important. That's why I had to have book interest meetings. I had to interview the authors. Someone might not go through all that, but it was so important to me that the stories in this anthology go with the theme of pivoting later in life, because again, so many of us, whether it's conscious to us or not, really do start to downshift later in life. And I'm like, where is that coming from? Who told us that? And as far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to retire. I'm going to retread. I'm going to put some tread on the tires. All right.
Yeah, I like that. Retread.
I'm going to put some new treads on the tire. So I really, really, really appreciate you taking this time to share a little bit about why you came on board with the anthology, why you shared the story that you shared. Did you tell us why you shared that particular story that you shared?
No. Because we have to keep, I just feel like, just like you said, it's not over, and we have to keep challenging ourselves. And if I could do it, other women need to know that they can do it. Other Black women need to know that we're not limited. And we need to keep doing this because of our ancestors.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because of the women before us that, paved the way and cleared some opportunities for us. I said,
yes. I love that. I love that. I love that.
So yeah, we need to tell our stories.
Yes, we do. We absolutely do need to tell our story. So thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I really, really, really appreciate it. And I'm not even going to say good luck with your grief yoga, because that is such a phenomenal concept that, especially if a lot of your clients are women of a certain age.
Yep.
Not only are we stretching these bones, girl, we got to stretch these bones.
Yes.
We also getting the healing that comes from the grief yoga as well. So you're getting a twofer, and that is really awesome. So thank you again.
You're welcome.
For your time. I really, really appreciate it.
I appreciate you, and what an opportunity, and so thankful for it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So that is it, beautiful people. You just heard from Laverne Santangelo. She is a licensed professional counselor. She is a co-author in Volume 1 of the anthology, Boldly Beyond 50, A Black Woman's Guide to Aging with Excellence. The book, like I said, is all about flipping the script, doing a new thing, making a pivot, making a shift after 50, because you are not too old, it's not too late. And over 50 does not mean that life is over.
Exactly.
Absolutely not. So thank you so very much, Queen. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Linda.